Hey everyone, Juno 2000 here, coming at you with a different video. I used to do these couple times I did reviews, like I did for Saw X, The Exorcist Believers. I was holding the screen on my other phone where I had the picture and the poster, and I explained my thoughts. My hand kind of gets tired from doing that shit, so to make it easier, I'm just gonna leave the camera like this and then see me in my background, my posters instead, to make it more easier. Maybe also talking about other movies too, along with these reviews. So I'm gonna also include with video of other Blu-rays that I talk about of that movie associates with this one that I review and stuff. I may do some rants because I do like to rant on some piece of shit movies, especially if I ever came across to doing a rant on Halloween Ends. I'll watch it on Look Movies and then give my rant on it because I passionately hate that fucking movie with a passion. That is the worst horror sequel, and even the worst horror movie that I ever saw. And it's so bad that I refuse to buy that piece of shit on Blu-ray or 4K. Even if I see it at a thrift store, I don't even give a shit about owning that movie. That movie's awful. I hate the way they treated Michael Myers like a piece of shit in that movie, where he's just 5 minutes of screen time with him just seeing his ass in the sewers. That's it. And Corey Cunningham having to do the most of the screen time and having the more kills in the movie. Like, if you want to stoke shit on Halloween 3, that's fine, but still, I'd take Halloween 3 over Halloween Ends any day. But that's a rant and a review for another day. But I'm going to do a review for John Woo's 2023 film, Silent Night. It's an action, revenge, thriller film. Bit of a slow burn, but yeah, it's a great movie. And it'll also be a bit of a spoilers movie, so I'm also going to do a spoilers review. So when I get to the point of the spoilers, I'll do a timestamp on the comments if you guys want to skip the spoilers, because I highly recommend folks to check it out. And yeah, because it's a movie that I recommend people to go check out. I don't know. I'm kind of debating if I want to spoil the movie or not because I highly want to recommend people. It's not a movie that you're going to be disappointed with. It's a fucking good revenge movie. There's a lot of revenge movies that I enjoy along the way, like Death Wish 2, and Death Wish 3. I enjoyed the Kill Bill movies that were done by Quentin Tarantino. I enjoyed that one. Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon. That's an underrated thriller revenge movie. I enjoyed Law Abiding Citizen. That's another movie that's underrated, and it's a revenge flick. Another underrated revenge movie, Eye for an Eye with Sally Field and Kiefer Sutherland. That's a really good one. That one's pretty gripping and very disturbing, but that one's pretty good. I think Prisoner's a revenge movie. Yeah, that because that's considered a bit of a horror movie, but Prisoner is a good revenge movie that's brutal as shit and awesome. Definitely a great movie. That's another one that's great. There's a lot of more revenge movies. There's some revenge movies that do kind of suck. Like for example, Peppermint with Jennifer Garner. That movie was kind of fucking forgettable and generic as fuck. It does have some cool shootout scenes, but it is kind of a generic ass revenge movie because they kind of just rush the shit too much and they just don't have no build to it. And it was just fucking rush where, oh, months after her family's killed, she somehow trained from, like, it's already months later that she already trained and she wants to go take vengeance after her killer. It's like, nah, that was generic as fuck. They had no build to it. But the ones that I say positive about, those movies had build up to it and they were great revenge movies. And this one that John Woo directed, Silent Night 2023, that's a great slow burn revenge movie. And yes, let's get to the review, folks. And yeah, quick synopsis about John Woo. He's a Hong Kong action movie film director. Directed a lot of movies in Hong Kong. He even directed Hard Boiled with Chow Yun Fat, and that one is a pretty badass movie. Hopefully, I find that on Blu-ray someday. I think there's a Blu-ray. I'm not sure, but that's a pretty badass one from John Woo. He directed other movies too: Hard Target, Face Off, Broken Arrow. Mission Impossible 2, which I heard it was considered one of the worst Mission Impossible movies, but that's fine by me. I would check it out and look movies and see how that is. I don't give a shit about the Mission Impossible series in my opinion, but I'll definitely check it out because it's John Woo and he never fucking disappoints. Um, I heard Paycheck was one of his last action movies that he filmed in America. That was like one of his last movies before he departed. And probably did some other movies I have not seen, but he made a comeback for Silent Night 2023, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great slow burn, great start, great story told. And the unique thing that they did about Silent Night, they had no dialogue in this movie because we'll get into the reviews now, and there'll be spoilers, folks. If you guys don't want to see the spoilers, I'll let you guys do it. I'll give you a countdown and timestamp in the comments, so you guys can check out this badass movie that came out. But it came out on December 1st. I got to see this one on Monday night. I mean Monday afternoon, and I started telling about how great this movie was to Keith over at Goreful and JT Horror and Sean Blue Digital, telling them how positive the movie was and badass it was. John Woo came back with comeback. But yeah, let's do a review, folks. The movie is released by Lionsgate Pictures. It does have some logo pictures that open the movie with no music. It's all ominous with no music, and it stars Joe Kinnaman as this family man who starts running during the opening credits, all bloodied up in his hand, in his shirt. His Christmas shirt is bloodied up. The movie's set on Christmas, and he's trying to chase after gangbangers that did a shootout by his house. And we don't know why he's covered in blood. And he gets to one of the gangbangers, and I think one of the cars, the cars, they shoot at each other, and one of them crashes, and then he throws like a pipe at one of the driver's window, and then they start going after Joe Kinnaman's character, and they ambush him, and he's wounded in the leg. The bad guy that comes towards him slowly, like a menacing person, like a menacing villain, and gets his gun and shoots him in the throat. And he's taken to the hospital, and gets the bullet out of his throat, and surgically fixed his throat. But the thing that he lost was his throat, speaking, pretty much his voice. He lost his voice from the getting shot at the throat, and it was gruesome to see that surgery and pretty good practical effects. But on and on, he does recover. He meets up with his wife at the hospital. He does some recovery before he leaves. Then we get the slowly transition of why he was covered in blood in the beginning of the movie. He gets the memory of what was going on when he was outside of his house. We see that he had a son, and he loved his son a lot. And that day on Christmas, his son and his wife were outside playing with the son's little bike until like these gangbangers that were shooting at each other, a stray bullet hit by them, and it hit and struck the son, and the son was dead. He died on the scene of being shot by a stray bullet, and that devastated Joe Kinnaman's character, because now we know why he was covered in blood. It was his son's blood that was all over his shirt and his hand. And yeah, that is very emotional. They do a great job with the music playing, and very emotional how he stressfully is dealing with the grief of losing his son, and he's looking forward on building his revenge against those sons of bitches that took his son life. And yeah, do a great job. Joe Kinnaman does a great job in his performance. He slowly is like at first he's like kind of drinking on the booze, like he's alcoholic a bit, trying to get his stress calm down. Because a lot of people who are injured drink and become alcoholics, but he says, "Fuck the alcohol, it's not helping me. I want to go take vengeance on these motherfuckers." There's no dialogue, so I'm just that's how he feels like in the movie, but just there is no dialogue in the movie, and that's a new twist about this movie is that they do a great job with revenge, where he's not speaking, his wife not speaking in the movie, even the revenge stuff, like his you don't have to hear his wife, because usually in these revenge movies, a lot of times in revenge movies, you gotta have the wife being a bitchy person. Oh, you can't do this. It's not gonna bring nothing. Like you don't have to have that stupid drama crap. It could just like to me this worked. Like this is how I enjoyed a revenge movie. Like, and this was a different way to see a revenge movie with great slow burn build up. He starts investigating the people that were involved in it, the bad guy and his corrupted gang group. He slowly starts training himself for months and months, for over a year, until he takes his vengeance later on. But it takes over months and months and months, and you get that feeling that it's going to his mind that he wants revenge so badly because this emotionally fucked him up. So on and on, he trains how to use the knife. He trains how to fight in self-defense. He trains how to shoot. He trains how to just kick ass and just like it does a great job where he's slowly trying to cooperate on his revenge. He wants a lot of training, so you could feel that months went by, like you feel the training. It's not that generic shit that was in Peppermint where oh Jennifer Garner already trained months later. Now we're already seeing her killing them and going after them. Like, dude, where the fuck was the build up? There's no build up to this shit. It was all lazy. This is better. This is how you build up a fucking revenge movie. He slowly is hunting. You want to hunt them down. Get all the training for months and months, and he hunts down one of the investors that are involved. He has a bit of a scuffle with that investor that he kidnaps and wants him to sign the stuff that they're doing, the illegal shit that they're doing. And yeah, they have a bit of a scuffle, and he makes the dude sign, and he's already ready to go take his vengeance on these sons of bitches. And then he goes and relax with his wife for a bit. He hugs her and hangs out with her for a bit and gives her a goodbye. And she's going to stay with her parents. And it's a good thing that she's not going to be involved so she can stay out of the way of the revenge part and let her husband do what he needs to do. And yeah, there was no stupid argument or stupid drama that's involved in it, so that's good. John Woo knows how to direct good shit. And yeah, we get to the revenge, which is the last 40 minutes of the movie. He goes and gets his stuff ready and he goes and takes his vengeance on the bad guys, gang corruption people that he is involved with. He sees that there's a shootout with the cops and the dudes, the bad guys, corrupted gang warfare people that he's with. He starts having a big shootout with them, shooting bang, 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 going after all of them with headshots, gut shots, going after them and taking his vengeance, slowly building his end to the bad guy. But yeah, I know this is already going to get to the spoilers, folks. If you don't want to get spoiler, this is the spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. He gets to meet with all the people that are there. He shoots them one by one, kicking ass. One of the cops he tries to save gets shot by, and so like fuck, he couldn't save him yet because they got shot in the middle of the crossfire. So yeah, he continues to go after more of the members, even one of the semi soldiers of the members. He goes after him, has a shootout. He sees more people. He sees like two people are getting mugged, and he rams them up over his car, which is so cool to see. But on and on, he takes his vengeance by going after the corrupted guy's place. He breaks in, takes out his shotgun, goes blast, blast, blast over other bad guys that are going through. And it's well done. I like John Woo's movies. He knows how to direct action shit. It's not that Jason Bourne crap where nothing against the Jason Bourne movies, the Bourne Identity movies, but all the fight scenes in Jason Bourne that I have problems with, you have this stupid shit where it's like you're trying to see the fight, but it's like that shit. That's what I fucking hate about fight scenes nowadays when they do crap like that. But when you see John Woo movies, you're like this, and you're able to see the punch or the super kick or the swings or the uppercut like that. That's how you see John Woo movies. It's not like this shit where, oh, you see the uppercut and it's like shaky cam. No, it's not that stupid fucking shit. And that's why I appreciate John Woo coming back to direct these movies because he knows how to direct action. If you get this director to do more action movies, he knows how to direct action movies. So he goes with a shotgun, blast and blast, and then I guess the guy that he thought he killed, the semi member of the gang, he has a bit of a fight with him, and then boom, he gets him with a blasted headshot and gets him the gun over the guy's head and shoots him under the chin, and big brain matter goes in the air very slowly. It's very fucking badass. Well shot it. See practical effects. No CGI bullshit. Blood in it. It looks practical. It looks real. And now he meets up with Kid Cudi. Yeah, Kid Cudi's in the movie, but he doesn't act. He all because there's no dialogue in the movie, folks. And yeah, he gets into the action. He's like a cop that he meets with. But yeah, he's part of the ending. He's in the end of the movie. He also shoots a lot of the other gang members that are in the way too. So he helps him. He helps Joel Kinnaman out to shoot out in this finale. They do really cool boom, boom, boom shootouts with the back gang members until they get to the end where it's the bad guy and his druggy girlfriend who he put heroin a lot of times in this movie, and it's fucking sad to see because a lot of people are addicted to drugs and it's fucked up. But all in all, he goes to see that the girlfriend's armed with a big gun and she's shooting at Kid Cudi and Joel Kinnaman's character, and they get to a big of a shootout until like Joel Kinnaman's pointing his gun at her, and she's trying to act all sad and scared. But he kind of feels like it has a bit of remorse, but she unexpectedly has a sneaky gun on her ankle and shoots him on the side of his shoulder, and it makes him fall. And then Kid Cudi comes into the room, about to shoot her, but he gets shot in the leg and the shoulder by her until Joel Kinnaman grabs his gun and shoots her in the head. Blast to the head. And he finally gets to the bad guy. Joel Kinnaman's all fucking injured and shit from getting shot in the side and the shoulder. But he has a bit of a fight with the bad guy that took his son and took his voice. Of course, it's his son because he was involved in the stray bullet shooting out. So yeah. So they have a bit of scuffle, brutal fight scene. Definitely great how John Woo directs also fight scenes, not just only shootout scenes, but he also directs good fight scenes and goes a fist fight, and everything goes badass where he wants his vengeance. He wants to kill this motherfucker. And of course, the bad guy, kind of has a little bit of upper hands where he wants to kill Joel Kinnaman, and he's about to get the final blow to Joel Kinnaman, but Kid Cudi comes in, shoots the dude in the side, knocks him down, and then Kid Cudi lets Joel Kinnaman finish this motherfucker off, and he strangles the shit out of the motherfucker with rage as fuck. And then he kind of sees like a disco ball next to him, and it kind of shows his son's face where he's looking at him, and it shows how emotional he is, where he lost his son, not just only his voice, but he lost his son by this motherfucker, and so he strangles the shit out of this fucker guy, and breaks his throat. Here's the crunch, sticks his yeah, he breaks his damn neck, squeezes fingers into his squeeze his fingers, crushing his larynx and his throat, and the guy is bleeding inside of his eyes. Yeah, so this guy got his fucking comeuppance. Both Joel Kinnaman and Kid Cudi are badly injured. They're dying from their wounds. They both lay down. They both lay down on the floor looking at the lights. And Joel Kinnaman's looking at his son, of how he would grow up with him and his mom, like him and his wife, seeing his son grow up being a graduate person. I think a valedictorian. He's graduating high school, seeing him older. That was pretty sad to see. Like, that's emotional and that's impactful and powerful shit right there. They even have good music in the movie too. Gotta admit, the music is pretty good. It also helps out the movie without the dialogue. But you still like get sounds. You get the punch sounds. You get the grunting noise. It's not like, oh, the movie's silent. No, the movie is doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Of course, you have some dialogue that they're like muffles. Of course, when he's interrogating the the investor dealer guy that's working with the bad guy, he kind of muffles like a couple fuck words, but it's like muffled because he has the guy gagged. But on and on, the movie doesn't have dialogue. But the movie ends where he is dying from his wounds, and even Kid Cudi's dying from his wounds as well. But he's happy that he took his vengeance. He gives his wife a letter to about his how he is doing and how he took revenge and how he loves him and he loves his son and his wife. And it ends where she goes and visits her son's grave, and that he set up his son's grave with a toy machine around. Sorry, folks. I'm just kind of coughing. Kind of recovering from being sick, folks. Sorry. I got sick around Tuesday morning. But on yeah, his wife goes and visits her son's grave, and he has a toy train set around that moves around as like a Christmas gift to his son. And yeah, the movie ends where he closes his eyes, and the movie ends where he already took his vengeance. He's happy. He's going to reunite with his son, and that's the end of the movie. Silent Night. Spoilers ends, folks. All right, that was the end of the movie. The movie was great. I enjoyed it. It's a movie that I think people should check out. If you guys don't want to skip the review, folks, like I'll mention in the comments. If you don't want to just see the review, just wait till you see the movie. But if you want to watch this review and just be fine with it, because I know people are big into not being spoilers, so that's why I have to name this movie video a spoiler review, because some people are kind of like too much into not being spoiled the movie, but I'm kind of neutral. If somebody tells me what the end is, I'm not gonna be pissed about it. But I know some people are into that shit. But I always say to each their own. But I always have to mention like spoilers if anybody wants to check it out. But all in all, I highly recommend this movie, folks. It's a badass comeback by John Woo. He directed these other movies too. Of course, I need to get hard if I ever find it. He directed Broken Arrow with Christian Slater and John Travolta, a very badass, underrated action movie from from 20th century fuckface. Because, but they're not 20th century fuckface. They're 20th century Disney bullshit. 20th century Disney fucking woke ass bullshit. Because They made that fucking Indiana Jones bullshit. Next movie that John Woo directed is Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Very badass movie. I know some people say it's overrated, but I disagree. I think this movie fucking rules and it kicks ass. I think both Travolta and Nicolas Cage are great, but to me, I feel like Nicolas Cage steals the show of how fucking crazy he is in this movie. I'm ready for the big ride, baby. Like that was fucking crazy to see him going all nuts in this movie. Like this is vintage Nicolas Cage, and it's action packed throughout. And the next movie I have by John Woo is Hard Target from 1993 with Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is easily my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And this is another thing that, and this is another thing like Silent Night. Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't talk too much in this movie. And I like Jean-Claude Van Damme's performance in this movie. He doesn't talk about that much. I mean, he doesn't talk in this movie that much, but he kicks ass. He does badass fighting and cool shit. And I like Van Damme's presence in this movie. Even his emotions face is pretty awesome in this movie. And this is actually the what the hell you call it? A 4K scan of the original negative, and this is like the unrated international cut, not the fully unrated cut, because there is stuff that are missing from being unrated, like especially when the Randall guy gets beat up by Arnold Vosloo's character, um, Van Cleef's character that he plays Van Cleef, where he's like has the scissors on his ear, and you're supposed to see like the uncut shit has like him fully cutting the ear off and shit. But in this one, it doesn't have it. It's still censored. But the only unrated part that it's extended is actually the final scene, which I'm actually cool with that because the extended action packed shootout at the end in the warehouse is so fucking badass. And it's much better than the theatrical scene of that, where it's all butchered and slowed down. Where this one is more longer and more violent in that finale shootout. But all in all, this is a very good movie. Very kick-ass film from 1993. And one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies next to Bloodsport and Kickboxer. But John Woo knows how to direct good shit. And these movies are fucking badass. But all in all, Silent Night was a great surprise. And I also want to mention other movies that he did. I heard Paycheck was one of his last American movies that he made. I heard Mel Gibson's in that one. I still gotta check it out. But I want to check it out because I saw Silent Night, and that was one of his recent American action movies that he made, and that movie kicked ass. I thought it's up there with great revenge movies, and it did a great job. I thought it was pretty different when they had no dialogue in the movie, and it's a great slow burn and a great build up to a badass revenge. I'll definitely pick up the 4K whenever it comes out. That's a fucking movie I'm gonna pick up because it is my favorite action movie of this year. I would say I even liked it just as much as John Wick 4. I do think John Wick 4 is a kick-ass movie, but the only two cons with that movie that I have with John Wick 4 is one, it's a hell of a long movie, and there's too much damn fighting in that shit. Like, I understand that John Wick fights a lot, but Jesus Christ, it's too much fighting in that shit. Like, it needs to calm down with that shit. Like, it needs breaks in that shit. Like, there's too much. But Keanu Reeves still kicks ass. And the other thing I do not like in John Wick 4 is I did not like how they didn't have John Wick revenge those motherfuckers that betrayed him. Like, they didn't have him go after the arch chick that everybody was annoyed by her voice. No, the Continental is under our control. Like that lady that looks like Sinead O'Connor from Part 3. You didn't have John Wick to go after her because she was involved in the betrayal of Ian McShane's character. Like, you didn't, because they kind of didn't do that, so that was like disappointing for me. But I still didn't mind John Wick 4. I did enjoy it, but I would say I like Silent Night much more. I would say I like that better. I give it I give it a 9 out of 10. I think this movie, it's in one of the top 5 movies of this year. It's up there. I enjoyed it. I put it as number 2 because my favorite is Renfield of this. My favorite movie of this year is Renfield. I put Silent Night as number 2. This movie kicks ass, and I recommend folks to check it out. If you enjoy revenge flicks, definitely check it out. If you enjoy John Woo's kick-ass movies like these, you'll definitely have a great time because he did a great comeback. So yeah, this is my review, folks. I'm definitely gonna try to do out more reviews like this, so I don't have to deal with holding the phone and just reviewing shit. Because a lot of times my hand gets kind of tired from holding it and holding it, so I prefer to just do this because it seems a lot of fun. Hopefully, anybody likes this, like give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and take care, folks. And if you like this better, or do you prefer me to just review it with the movie? But for my option, I prefer to do this because this is more fun to do. And I like to even mention other movies if it's associated with another movie, with a film director or other movies. I like to do that at the end. But yeah, this is my review slash spoiler review of John Woo's 2023 film Silent Night that came out on December 1st, starring Joel Kinnaman and Kid Cudi. Great slow burn revenge movie with no dialogue, but great music and great revenge plot. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and have a good week. Take a good weekend, folks. Take care. And me and Sean Blue Digital are gonna do watch parties for Silent Night Day and Night tomorrow, and also watch party for the 40th anniversary of John Carpenter's Christine, which is my all-time favorite movie, and I love that movie as a passion. It's a great fucking film. I grew up watching. Definitely my all-time favorite movie. We're doing that one on Saturday, but Silent Night Day and Night is gonna be tomorrow night. But catch us to watch those movies, folks, on a watch party, and have a good day, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.